that time. I finally got the PS5. Now, granted, I've had it for about 3 days now. And, you know, I've spent enough time with it, I feel like, to really at least grasp in a sense what it's about, what it's capable of doing. I've played my fair share of games on it. I've really enjoyed it so far, but I'm here to tell you, is it worth it? Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing I wanted to talk about was the actual size of this console. This is the first thing, obviously, you're gonna notice when you're taking it fully out the box. God. To put it lightly, this thing is a chunky boy. I mean, the biggest console I've ever seen. It takes up my entire dresser, and when people say that, they are not lying on other YouTube videos. Now, it really does scream, here, I am on the counter and you need to look at me. This thing is a whole entire massive spaceship with a glowing light coming out of the center of it, and I think that is a nice finishing touch to it. Do I think the console is ugly? Seeing it in person, over the past couple of days, I've started to like the look of it better. I just wish that they somehow made it a little bit smaller but kept the same look to it. I think that would be everybody's ideal thing. Now, they might come out with a slim and they might end up doing that. So let's move on to the controller. This controller, and I'm not gonna say this lightly, the amount of time I've spent with it, I do believe it is the best controller that I have ever used, I've ever had on a console. This thing feels hefty like an Xbox controller. I always like the feel of the Xbox controller in your hand, and Sony finally got a grasp on that fit in your hand style that the Xbox had. It's more hefty toward the back of it, and it has the LED light in the middle instead of the back now, like the DualShock 4, and it still has the touchscreen in the middle of it. And you know, who knows if companies are actually going to utilize that, along with the haptic feedback that it is. This thing is no joke. You play Astrobot's Playroom, and you're going to see what it can do. You walk on grass, ice, you feel it in the controller. People are not lying to you when they tell you that you can feel the surface in the controller. You would just have to see for yourself. It's hard to explain, but you can feel it. Things like the actual adaptive triggers, you can feel when you're shooting. It's got this sort of tension that you just can't describe. You hold down the R2 button and it brings tension that's just built into the trigger, and my jaw actually dropped. I was like, what in the world is going on with this thing? This is definitely, you know, I think this is the best thing about the console so far on launch. Now, when we move over to the games that you can be playing with this thing when you first get it. Now, I got the bundle with Spider-Man Miles Morales along with Spider-Man Remastered. I haven't got a chance to play Remastered yet, but I have played Miles Morales. And let me tell you, this game is a speedy demon. From the starting point of you just pressing X on the game to you making it to the main menu and just pressing start game, continue. It is in there from that point within 2 to 3 seconds. And that is not cap, you guys. That is the honest to God truth. And my jaw dropped. I was like, we are really doing this, and Sony actually meant this. Now, obviously, this is for an exclusive and optimized game for the PS5, but it gives us a good taste of what this console can actually pull off when a game is optimized for the console. They were not BSing on the no loading time thing when it comes to games that are optimized. Now, if you play last-gen games on this thing, your loading times are going to be better, but it's not going to be this instant loading speed, this instant loading time. Right here you can see how some of these are actually a lot better, some of them are a little bit better, and compared to the Xbox Series X, either console, either or sometimes wins out on other games. I've seen that Red Dead 2 loads in a little bit faster on the Xbox. It really just depends. I saw Watch Dogs Legion loaded just a tiny bit faster on the PS5. You know, right now these consoles, the loading times aren't that big a difference on both, but when we look at the actual exclusives, as in like Spider-Man, Demon's Souls, Sackboy, and you see a game that's optimized for this console, you can really see what these loading times can do. I mean, they are magnificent. I do want to talk about the sound of this thing when you're playing. I've had a different experience from what other people have been saying. They've said that there is no sound at all. It is crisp, clean. It's not even that hot. Now, mine, a lot of the time, well, I want to say probably 50% of the time, I was playing Ghost of Tsushima last night, and it had this small, distinct buzzing noise coming from the front of it, and I did not have a disc in, nothing like that could affect it. It was just small little static buzzing noise. Now, it's hard to notice if you have headphones on or it's coming out of your TV speaker, but that's just when I had the game on pause, I noticed that it's just a small little buzzing noise. It's nothing that is gonna say, wow, I don't want this console, like the PS4's jet engine. Yeah, we know how that was. But, you know, compared to the Xbox, most people are saying they're not hearing a peep out of this thing. I am getting a small buzzing noise from the PS5. Also, when they say that there's like little heat, I don't know about that. I mean, I have it sitting right here on my dresser. It's made the room pretty hot when I play it for a while, but that's a given. I get that. And the back can get kind of hot at times, but it's nothing that's going to make you get pissed off or anything like that. I'm just providing the truth to you guys. I'm not going to say this console is perfection. Now, when it comes to the actual overall experience of this console, as in navigating the user interface, starting up games, downloading games, obviously downloading the games depends on your Wi-Fi speed, but this thing is definitely downloading a lot quicker than it was on the PS4 with the same speed that I had. I mean, I'm getting, let's just say that a game that was probably 40 gigs on the PS4 would take me a couple hours. It was pretty bad. I downloaded Ghost of Tsushima last night. I'm pretty sure that was 40 gigs. It finished in 30 minutes. And I could not believe it. And that was while I was playing another game. I was playing Days Gone. And it had no effect on it. That was awesome. And while we're on the games also, I want to talk about the optimization of these games. As in Days Gone running at 4K 60 FPS. This is how the games were meant to be played. When you get your hands on them and you have played them on PS4 and you switch over to PS5 to play them, you realize how much of an upgrade it is, and you do not want to go back to the 30 FPS that you were pushing right before. Games like Ghost of Tsushima and Days Gone feel amazing running at 60 FPS, and I would not give it back for anything. Now, to the user interface, because this is obviously what you're going to be using all the time, I can't find a lot of things to complain about this user interface. I'm just being honest, guys. I am really, really, really liking this home screen. You hover over a game, it plays a song on it, it presents itself in such a way that just says, hey, you want to play this game? Please click on me. Just go ahead and play it. And it tends to work with me. I hear the song and I'm like, you know what? Let's get into it. PlayStation Store is integrated into the system now. No more loading on that either. You just slide over to it, press X, and literally you're right there. I mean, in a matter of a second, you just go down. It's integrated right into it. It's pretty awesome. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the crossbar at the bottom. You can customize this, but some people say it's a little bit hard to get to where they want to go. They have to go too many places and all this. But here's the thing with me, I'm more laid back on this stuff. So I'm not going to complain about it that much. I don't care to scroll over and press X and then press X again and then go into whatever. I think it's pretty, I think it's organized, and I think it's neatly presented well. I really don't have a lot of problems with this UI. I've thoroughly enjoyed this thing. I think it's very pretty, and I can't wait to spend some more time with it. So the question is that we're running back to, is the PS5 actually worth it? Is it worth the $399 price point for the digital, the $499 for the physical disc version? And my answer, in my opinion, yes, it is worth this money all the way. You're getting the new controller with the haptic feedback that most of you all will not know how much of a difference it makes until you get your hands on it. Like I said, it's hard to explain, but it's just simply amazing. You're getting the new UI that I think is integrated neatly, nice, quick, very, very, very pretty user interface. Makes it feel like it is a premium console, and you know, at the price point, you want to feel like that. And your games that you were playing on PS4, a lot of them are being upgraded to run 60 FPS at 4K. Some people are not going to care about this. I thought I wouldn't really care about this that much since I had the Series S and I loved it at 1080p, you know, running some games in 60 frames per second or 120. But now that I'm seeing these upscaled to 4K and running at 60, oh man, it's pretty impressive. It really makes me just want to keep playing this game, whatever game I'm playing. These are talking about exclusives though. I do want to say that, because most of the games I've been playing are exclusives. When it comes to games that are not optimized yet, I cannot speak for them. It's just going to run about the same. This is strictly games that have been upgraded. So here's the thing. If you actually care about these things that I have listed, you care about the 60 frames per second, you care about the resolution, you care about having a new controller, and you care about having something that feels new with a premium interface, then yes, the money you spend on this console is going to be very worth it to you. Now, if you are content with having the same controllers, you don't really care that much about the resolution, you can run at 1080p, you just want the frame rate, you like your home screen that you're on right now, whether that's the Xbox or the PS4 or whatever, then I would say no, it's not really worth it. I would wait until they come out with more games and they have more upgraded, optimized games. Right now they do not have a lot, but the small group that they do have is very impressive to me. To me, it was worth it. This is all opinionated. If those things I listed, they don't attract you that much, you could care less, then to you it's probably not worth it. You would probably be content with the Xbox Series S, which I made a video on that, if that was worth it. And I would say go ahead and switch to the Series S if you're looking for a new console. Now, I don't want you all to think that I'm praising this console all the way. It does have its downsides. I promise it is not 100% perfect. When a console launches, none of them are ever perfect, whether it's the actual games or just how it runs. That's just how it is. But with my time spent with it, I think it is a solid console. I've had a lot of fun with it, and I hope you all can get your hands on one if you're still trying. Thank you all. Good luck.